Mic check. Test. Hello? Okay. Hello guys. Dalawa lang pala.
No.
Hintayin lang natin yung iba siguro guys. Before we start. Ano ba yung iba? Kung wala pa yung iba. Oops. Second monitor natin. Yun. Hi Ma'am Ron! Hindi tayo kalamihan ngayon. Baka busy pa yung iba. Wait na lang tayo siguro till 8, 10, or 15 before we can start na. Hello. Hello, Jeff. Kumusta kayo, guys?
Okay lang. Gabi. Good evening.
Uy, hello. Hello, Ice Cream. May gabi. Good evening. Gandang gabi.
Pwede yung matana. Pwede yung matana.
Sure.
Magamit mag-Figma ni sir, dili na.
For?
Ma-involve ba ang Figma ni dili na? Like, magamit kag Figma ba?
I mean, we can consider naman yan if you guys prefer, no? We can teach
Sige.
about Figma naman, but my principles about a tool, again, kasi di lang naman kasi talaga Figma yung tool sa market, di ba? So my perspective about that one, if you guys decided na you like a Figma tutorial, of course we can integrate it.
Okay. Sige, thank you, sir.
Thank you. The thing about Figma, no? Figma tool is there are already most, if not all, I think, tutorials about UI UX is not really about UI UX principles and concepts. I mean, maliit lang, but most of them is really about just the tool, Figma, how to use Figma, no? So that's why me as a designer, I believe most courses used or sa YouTube, Figma na yung gamit, di ba? Figma na yung tutorials. And there are so many of them already, no? Na you can check them out. Pero the things that most designer is lacking is understanding concepts. Right? Most designers kasi
Opo.
they go directly to Figma tools without really understanding how to create. Now that's why my approach din sa learning in terms of design is very different from two of our mentors now, which is mostly hands-on talaga, di ba? Kasi yun nga, to understand something, you need to learn something, you need to understand something. Parang I think it's about parang study ng law, right? The study of being a lawyer is not really about how to be a lawyer, di ba? It's mostly of a concepts how lawyer or how law works. So yeah, yun. So parang ganun na principles yung tingin ko dyan. But if you guys decided naman to really want Figma, of course, yun nga. Pwede naman natin ilagay as a mentorship. Keep collecting lang kayo sa keep collecting lang pala kayo sa mga po-up natin. Kasi baka soon, no? So yung tapos na yung natin. Yung full stack development. Actually, not really tapos but more on naputol. Tapos yung game naman natin, of course, already finished, no? So baka UX na lang yung weekly natin kasi we also have so many upcoming events then. That's why we're getting busy na rin as a team. That's why most of is mga yun mostly is already finished na. But again, as I have said before sa sa tutorial ng mentorship natin, you being a designer is not really about is really don't have a final destination. It's more of like just improvements. Like you never stop learning because there's no such thing as final destination in design. Only improvements. You don't really stop becoming one. So yun yung principles ko rin about sa design. That's why mas matagal tayo natapos kaysa sa iba. Kasi there is more to it than meets the eye. Okay. Okay, so ngayon, hello guys, no? Hopefully nakakain na kayo. Or if hindi, of course, you can listen naman while eating. So yung topic natin ngayon is about typography, which is most of you already know fonts, text, right? Designs about the fonts. Yun. Most of us already know about this one, and most designer, but the principles behind it, most designer, which is most designer should learn, is hindi pa alam, di ba? Wait lang. Hindi pa alam. Kasi, yun nga, that's why we discussing it into 3 sections. Before we discussed colors, also we divided it into 3 mga sections. So we already done that. So ngayon, typography na naman. Okay. So, siguro mga ano lang. Can start naman actually. Okay, tayo lang. Okay. So, hello guys. Oops, may comment. Oh, yun. Hello, Nobita. Wait lang. Oh, ganun. Ganun pala. Okay, so if you have any questions or any suggestions along the way, you can send it on our chat, no? Chat box natin. So I can adjust it. Okay, so let's start. Hello guys, welcome sa ating part 3 ng typography or fonts natin na lessons. Diba? We've discussed about it for 2 times, right? So the art of reading experience and stylistic expression. That's what typography basically means, right? Typography is a decision we make how fonts or typefaces is created and applied to communicate a message not only effectively but also efficiently. No? So, yung part 1 natin, we discuss about the foundational introduction of typography, which is what are these things, letter spacing, mga anatomy of a typeface, yun, iba-ibang mga introduction for about fonts, right, mga letters. In part 2, we take some designer guidelines and principles in using typography, like how much spacing, how long, or how width, how wide is a paragraph if you apply it, right? So we discussed already that one. And then ngayon, we will be discussing how to apply effective typography on your designs. So this principles that I will be mentioning about. I'm sorry, guys. Most I did not take it from my own. I already said before, we stand by the shoulders of giants. So we use what is already known, no, which is or already common. So we utilize that one to our advantage, kasi we don't need to try to invent the wheel. So yun, typography ngayon is effective applications. That's our topic. So many fonts, right? There's so many, literally so many fonts. If you search on Google fonts, right, on any other listing fonts like Google font, there's so many fonts to choose from, diba? But how would you select the perfect or the most suitable one for your project? Diba? For example, I've worked with so many websites. They're different. They use different fonts. Diba? When I was starting just design, I don't really have anything to follow. No, I don't follow any guidelines because I'm just starting. I focused on learning muna on the base principles instead of the mga deep na principles on design. But ngayon, as we'll be discussing, I take myself to really explore what is the concept, how to effectively pick a font. So if this is most na mga advice, guys, is summarize. No, this is all I will be mentioning. This one is mostly summarize, diba? Kasi we go straight to the point. There are so many theories, but most of them only summarize to this one. So first one, what you can do, or if you are given a new fresh project, no, the first thing you should do is to select a single sans serif typeface. No, we have also already mentioned this before. The difference between sans serif and serif is sans serif have these kinds of tails, or what we call serifs. I mean serifs, no? This is serifs, no? Sans serif if those one na walang mga tails, or parang ganito. Plain lang yun, parang walang stylistic na mga thing or elements sa kanila. So that is a sans serif. So the first thing you would need to do is to select a single sans serif typeface, right? Now, how can you select one? How can you select a single sans serif typeface? You need to remember, guys, that in selecting a sans serif fonts, you need to be mindful of these three things: legibility, neutrality, and simplicity, right? So legibility is how easy it is for an individual, or for to see the characters, no? They can distinguish and identify it, diba? So the more legible a font is, the more it is much more easy to read, right? And much more easy to understand. So that is legibility. Neutrality, guys, is generally don't convey a strong mood, no, or personality, right? They don't really push the limits na parang they are too much sa mata. So you should pick sans serif na neutral, right? Kasi sans serif nga, kasi most brand personalities use some typeface that is neutral, diba? Kasi the focal point is not mostly aesthetic, but the content, no? How people and how user understand it. So that is the central focal point rather than the typeface, no? There is also a less chance na you can pick unsuitable typeface. Most of the time, you can really pick any typeface as long as you follow by the standards, no? The third one is simplicity, right? Pick a font that simple than others, no? They have less characters, they have less details, something like that. No? Kasi yung mga complicated typeface kasi can be very distracting and can also increase cognitive load, no? Diba? Kasi it takes more time to process for a user instead of just picking a simple font, diba? Especially if marami kang font na gagamitin. So first thing you need to do is select a sans serif font and remember these three things: legibility, neutrality, and simplicity. Now, there are so many sans serif typefaces out there, diba? But here are 5 tips that one of our experienced designers gave, no, to help you choose what sans serif you need to pick, diba? First one is choose a popular typeface. So that is the first one. Let's say an example. If you visit fonts, guys, google.fonts, you can literally sort it out by the most popular, and then you can select the sans serif. Yun. Let's select ng siguro specifically English. Walang English. So yun. All of this is sans serif. You can pick one. Actually, you can randomize it, but if you have a taste, you can also browse through this one. Me, personally, I take siguro mga 5 minutes to browse this listing to really pick something na that suit my need, no, as in a project, right? So that is the first thing to remember. Choose a font that is mostly popular, or and kasi most of them are tested and trial already, no. You can usually sort them on different platforms na nagalist ng fonts. So this is the first one. Pick popular fonts. Secondly is look for typeface, guys, na may iba-ibang weights. Let me show you. For example, in Google Fonts, there are fonts na you can see this one, number of styles. You can filter it out up to 3, right? The fonts you should be looking, guys, should not be below 3, no, of styles. For example, Roboto, let's say Roboto. What does this mean is you should look for typeface na maraming different varieties. Kasi most likely they are of better quality than others with only single now. For example, this one has a thin, has a light, merong regular, medium, and then bold, right? But this is more of a for this decision, guys, is yes, fun family, sabi ni Jeff. So, but again, remember, this decision is more of a credibility of a font, meaning it's much more credible kasi marami siyang weights, right, and styles. But we will mention later, we will not be using all of it. Diba? We will mention about it later, but remember, for now, we don't pick this one because marami siyang, we can use different font weights and font style. We pick this one because it is more of a quality than other fonts na isa lang, diba? So yun. That is the second thing you should do. Tips you should remember in choosing a sans serif. Third one is get inspiration from designers and companies. No, may website tayo. I forgot about it. It's a actually wait lang. There are already I have seen the websites in. I've saved it, but it has mga magaganda na mga fonts, no, that uses by different popular companies, diba? So if you are not able to decide by yourself, or your client haven't been able to decide for their website or for the design of their website, you can use different na mga platforms to check. For example, you want to use the Google font, na yung font talaga ng Google, you can use that one, diba? Kasi free lang naman yun, and then open naman yun sa lahat with, I think, MIT license. So yun, you can pick inspiration. Do not be afraid, no, to pick inspiration, kasi most of us designers is really live by taking inspiration, kasi wala naman talagang original ideas. Sabi nga natin, most of the original ideas you think of is just a combination of already existing ideas, diba? So yun. Third one, tips to decide which sans serif to choose from many different one is get inspiration from designer. Fourth one is, when in doubt, use the default system. No, in Figma, the default system font is intern, or I mean inter, diba? Intern na font. You can use that one if you think na especially if you first focus, no, sa design or structure ng website, right? And then you don't really care about the fonts that you will be using, you can start with the default one that gina-use ng platforms mo. Kasi most of the time, that is much more preferred kasi both popular and then both standardized, diba? For example, in Figma, when you open a new file, the default font is Inter, diba? This one. So you can use that one temporarily, but you can also use it permanently if you really if you like the vibes, no, ng font. So yun. Of course, the fifth one is keep readability, legibility, and accessibility top in mind. No, it is both should be understandable and easy to read, diba? So there are different na mga, let's say, there are different na mga typefaces, sans serif, but most of them are very difficult to read. No, for example, if we minimize it, let's say this one is much more easier to read kasi mas ano siya compared to other. For example, this one mas manipis siya, I mean mas thin siya in terms of width, and then if you squint, it's much more difficult to read. This one is much more easier to read, something like that. You should remember about that one kasi you should design not only for static but also for accessibility. Kasi although you have a target user, you should not be excluding those user na you think will visit your website. For example, people with visual impairment or people na elderly, diba? Mahirap na sila magbasa. So yun. keep that in mind. So you can use these websites to check for different types of website. Now, actually, I like this one, Free Faces. Let's check Free Faces gallery. Kasi most of them is, although maliit lang, but they showcase talaga ano yung use ng web ng fonts. As you can see here, diba? Ganda yung ano nila, yung approach. So yun. That is one example. Okay. So after you select sans serif, guys, secondly is you select a second serif typeface. Kanina sans serif, which is yung walang design. Ngayon you select a serif 1, which is yung may tail na design. Ganito. Why? Kasi it's but there are some, it's most of the time designers use a pair of sans serif and serif fonts. But if you prefer to use only serif, you can do that. But you can also do both serif. I mean, both serif, you can do that. I mean, both sans serif, you can do that. But not all design, or mostly designers do not do both serif, no? Both na ganito. Kasi serifs kasi is if maliit yung font size, it is much more difficult to read than serif. Diba? But yun, always pick. For this one, this is for readability, but for the second serif, it's for the heading, so it's much more on the impact. Diba? Kasi this is more of a readability, this is more of an impact. No? For most of us interface na mga designers, the safest place to go is single sans serif typeface, and then also adding some personality or adding some identity through a serif na typeface. Meaning, combine silang dalawa. May sans serif ka, may serif ka rin. So, for example, so many sans serif, no? For every typefaces, guys, it generally evoke different emotions and feelings. Diba? So we have I think 6 different font pairs. And here are some general guidelines by, of course, Adam Danaway pa rin, experienced designer, to help you choose. First is sans serif typeface, sans serif, and sans serif. 2 sans serif, guys, generally feel neutral, minimal, or modern. For example, this one. This one is sans serif. This one is sans serif. And this one is sans serif. Diba? If you can see this one, this is more of a modern style. But if you partner 2 sans serif, so this is a first na type of font pairs. Second type is serif and sans serif. Diba? This is the one that we prefer, or most designer prefer. Diba? Partner sans serif with a serif. It's more of a traditional approach, or classical one. If you can see here, this is a serif fonts, I mean sans serif, and then this is a serif fonts, and then back to sans serif. Diba? So you can see it's more of a parang medium type na website. Yun. Partner of sans and serif. Next is we have rounded sans serif. You can use serif, sans serif, and then partner it with rounded sans serif. So it makes your website more playful or soft. If especially for projects na for children or for kids, or more on static side, you can use rounded sans serif. For example, this one, you can see this is sans serif, but is not rounded one. But this one is rounded, diba? If you can see, it's very maganda sa mata, or parang pleasing sa mata, if you can see. So this is used mostly by website that uses more colors. So yun. Fourth one is casual script. Casual script, guys, is more of a personal, and I've seen a website about flower shop. I think it's a flower shop, no? And they use casual script for their title, diba? Kasi it gives a sense of parang artisan, diba? Artisan means handmade, diba? It's more of a aesthetic na side, Pero again, you can see here, sa title lang nila nilagay, hindi sa description. Kasi kung sa description, always prefer sans serif sa description. Fifth one is formal script. It's basically also casual script, but not too playful, no? But more on a formal. Like this one, you can see it's more of a feminine and then elegant. So you can use this one. You can partner formal script and then sans serif, but only for title, guys, ang yung partner ng sans serif. Sixth one, lastly, is light sans serif, which is sans serif but more on a light side, not too big, no? For example, this one, you can see like luxury brands. If you can see luxury brands, they use this kind of partner. They use light sans serif for the heading, and then for every description they use sans serif, right? So yun, that is the 6 na mga partner. But commonly, we have mentioned this before, commonly you only gonna use sans serif and serif, no? Pair sila. Now you can use sans serif sa title and serif sa description to approach a modern design, no? But if you want additional design, we have mentioned before, use serif sa title and then sans serif sa description or sa mga longer text. This is actually Medium. If you aren't familiar, if you seen Medium na blog, they use modern design. They use sans serif sa title and then serif sa description nila. So yun. Yes, Mona. Sorry, kawas ito pag-Bisaya. So yes, in choosing fonts, guys, you generally only need 2. No, you don't need to have so many fonts for a design project. You only need 2, right? Unless you know what you're doing. The difference between graphic design, guys, and UX design is graphic design is more on a creative side than practicality, right? There, graphic design have also some kind of practicality, pero focus sila sa aesthetic side. But in UX, guys, UX, which is crucial for the business, it's more of a practicality than aesthetics. That's why if you see mga professional na business, it's not very playful. It's more of a formal, it's more of a professional approach, di ba? Kasi, but if you see on the graphic side na mga design, it's much more playful and not more formal, di ba? Kasi it grabs attention. But in UX, it stays, no? Retention. Meaning attention for ano, and then UX attention. So yun. So here, that is that guidelines, you know. General guidelines talaga. You only gonna need 2. 1 sans serif and then 1 serif fonts. Yan lang talaga. No need to complex, no? So here are some general guidelines if you have already picked 2, diba? No need to really reinvent the wheel. Here are some guidelines you can follow. Of course, from experienced designer. We get it from experienced designer. So first one is avoid anachronism and tight correlations. Now, what is anachronism and tight correlations? Diba? It's very confusing. So anachronisms, guys, are mistakes where you use a font in context na hindi naman nag-match sa history ng font. For example, you design let's say a website, a Greek na website, and then you use a font that you think is Greek but is Latin, diba? So you think actually you can spend time na maliit lang naman na time na maka-research ka ng ganun. There are fonts na looks Greek but actually Latin origin, diba? So there is some difference. Do not use paki-off mo na ng mga mic, guys, no? We can na naman. Kim, can you mute mo na? Siguro. Ano kasi? Wait lang, please. Mute mo na natin. Okay, so for example, let's say let's say there is font called Trajan. Wait lang. Napin ko. Trajan font. Let's say this font, no? This font is a this font is from Trajan's Column, which is a monument sa military ng I think Greek, I mean Latin, right? But if you are designing for a Greek website, ancient Greece, and then you think na Greek to siya, that is anachronism, diba? It's basically like you base the concept on the design instead of its history, no? You should avoid that one. Kasi although it's not really a very big deal, pero at least you follow some standard, no? So yun, anachronism. Another one is tight correlations. What does tight correlation means? It means na oversimplistic and predictable association. For example, you use Comic Sans, diba? Familiar naman tayo sa Comic Sans kasi yung topic na yung sentence na ilalagay mo is tawag niyan nakakatawa, diba? Avoid that one. And then or kaya you use Futura na font kasi futuristic yung goal mo na font, diba? It's like kung ano yung obvious, yun yung gagamitin mo, no? Don't try to do that one kasi sometimes it's very oversimplistic, no? And not very practical. For example, you use papyrus in ancient na mga text or ancient na mga times na theme for a website. Papyrus is like ancient case, no? So it's basically not using a direct correlation of a theme, diba? So you should avoid anachronisms and tight correlations. So for example, this one, you use this, for example, you write a statement, Zeus is the sky and the thunder god, but you didn't know na ito palang font na ginamit mo is not from Greek or not a Greek-based na font, more on a Latin na font. And then we also have the ancient whispers of time, Echo and Everstone. For example, this is more a ancient, and then you use an ancient font, diba? Parang too much. And then you also use Comic Sans for this funny na ano. So yun. And then you use something playful kasi bata yung magre-read, right? O kaya you use a font na scary kasi scary yung theme mo, right? You can use this kind of concept but limit it, no? Diba? Kasi it's yun nga, more on practicality tayo than on statics. If you focus on static, of course, you can use this one. Yun. That is the first one. Avoid anachronism and tight correlations. Tight correlations. Secondly is, ito na yung sinasabi ko is, although you pick a font or a sans serif or let's say serifin that have many font weights and font style, it's still complex to use or especially for beginners, very difficult to use if you use all type styles of fonts. For example, let's say you have balik na lang tayo sa Google Font. Let's say you have Roboto, no? You have thin, you have light, you have regular, medium, bold, diba? If you are a designer or a beginner designer, you won't know when to use which, diba? But most designers should follow this standard. Kahit sa mga experienced designer guys, they do this one. They only gonna use regular and bold na font weights, diba? They have di pa ba na-mute guys, no? Akala ko na-mute na lahat. Siguro sa akin lang. Wait lang, i-mute natin. Okay. Yun. Okay, so continue tayo. Yun nga, sabi ko nga, you only gonna use regular and bold na font weights. You don't need to use light, you don't need to use thin unless you need, no? Unless you need it. But most of the time, even senior designers use only font na with, I mean, regular and bold, which is this one, regular, right? Regular and bold. Why? Kasi aside from it eases from a designer to be complex, it also follows a convention of consistency. Mas madali ka maging consistent if you only gonna use regular and bold kaysa marami kang gagamitin na font weights, diba? Of course, gamitin mo rin yung regular and bold na italics if you need, no? Kasi partner naman yun talaga sila. So that is the second one. For example, this one, we have thin, light, regular, bold, extra bold, and then say italic. But most of the time, you're only gonna need regular and bold, ba? Yun. So you can, using numerous different font weights, can create visual noise and clutter in your interface, no? Making it harder to maintain consistency use of each weight. This is not words of mine. This is words from Adam Danaway. As a both experienced and beginner designers, they should only use regular and bold unless you know what you're doing, diba? Yun. For example, the bold one, you use it for headings and titles or title, diba? And then the regular one, you use it for sentences or paragraphs, right? So there are only two, no? Let's say an example, no? Let's visit Medium. Tapos basahin natin, tingnan natin tong isang article from Sir Dave. So if you can see, guys, in Medium, the title is bold and then the text is very consistent. There are some things, for example, this one, it's italic, but it's still regular, no? It's not a thin italic, it's a regular italic, diba? For example, this one, this is also regular, guys. No, this is not a thin, this is not a also regular, maliit lang yung text. This is also regular, so diba? It's for consistency. So yun. Yun, guys, yung sample natin. Diba? So remember, you're only gonna use regular and bold. Third one is always prioritize legibility and readability, not statics. So as a designer, guys, we are different from graphic designer. We are also different from UI designer, no? Exclusively. UX design is more of a general na domain, and UI designer is one of is inside UX design. So as a UX designer, guys, you should prioritize legibility, which is the convenience or the ease of reading or readability, not just statics, right? For example, we have these fonts. If you can, if you visit, I think, diba, free font. If you visit this, guys, let's see ha. It's an example. Oops, parang mahina yung internet natin. Oops, parang mahina talaga mag-load. So, eto. If you can see here, guys, it's very maganda siya, diba? Like, it's very static in showcase. As a showcase, this one too is very maganda rin tingnan. You can see ito rin maganda tingnan. So you initially think na, oh, pwede natin to gamitin. But again, as a designer, you should weigh in your priorities, diba? And also, designer, you should always prioritize readability than aesthetics. So if you use this one, similar to, guys, ito, below lava is this one, diba? If you can see, it said ito. This one is very difficult to read, no? If you can see, diba? Sobrang hirap basahin. But it's static. Diba? Ito rin, it's static rin, but mahirap din basahin, diba? So as a designer, pick something na both I mean, you should compromise aesthetic, diba? If you you need to choose readability. than static. But again, you can, pwede mo naman pagsabayin, but in a dilemma, always pick readability than static. So yun, kasi if you can see in the example, it's very difficult to read. Especially for elderly, no? Yung mga nanay at tatay natin. So, better yet, if you are not sure, create a sentence from using a font, and then have someone, your friend, your manager, or your client, look at the font. If they can process what they're looking first, okay, it's an okay font. Pero if not, change it. No? So yun. Fourth one is font size, guys, should be generally be divisible by 2. Diba? There are websites that uses 13 pixels, 11 pixels. You can use that one, but for consistency, for the sake of consistency, and not only consistency, kasi, but also for developers, right? You should only use font size na divisible by 2. Why? Kasi most na mga design, or let's say CSS na mga library na gagamitin ng developers, most of the measurement there is divisible by 2. For example, let's say Tailwind. Diba? Tailwind, guys, sa font size ng Tailwind, mostly naman talaga designers use this one. You can see all of it is divisible by 2. Diba? Divisible by 2, divisible by 2, divisible by 2, divisible by 2, 2, 2. Lahat. It's divisible by 2. Diba? Not because it's convenient, but also it's, not because it's consistent, but also convenient for both developers and also designers. No? But there are websites na gumagamit ng 13, 11, but again, yun nga, you should compromise that one kasi most designers prefer divisible by 2, right? For example, you have a heading, it's 40, divisible by 2, heading 2, 32, 24, 18, 16. Diba? So, always remember that one. Pero yun nga, you should limit your text size. Of course, wala naman talagang gamit ng 2 pixels, diba? Na font size, but you should limit it to 10 lang, no? 10 pixels is pinakamaliit na yun na font size. Below than that, it's not recommended na. Kasi kahit on phones, it's very little. Kahit on large screens, it's also very little na. So, only limit your text siguro 12 pixels, diba? And then, kayo na bahala kung gaano kalaki. Basta 12 pixels yung pinakamaliit. So, yun. Of course, lastly is, always trust your guts and personal choice. Diba? If you think that a font fits the design intent of your project, you can pull it off, and you can do it now. If you're really confident about a font and you are really let's say interested to use this font, use it. No need to fight with yourself na no, I don't want to use it kasi sabi ni ganito ganyan. Kasi if you really want to, of course, follow that. Pero again, remember to always be mindful then sa mga gagamitin mo. Kasi you are not the users of an app. I mean, you can be one of the users, but you should prioritize what the users will feel instead of what you feel. Diba? Kasi as a designers, we are problem solvers. There are so many expected problems, guys, sa design. This is the difference between a designer, diba? Experienced designer and a beginner designer. That's why initially I did not say na mag-Figma tayo kasi yun nga, designers should be given the guidelines how to think, how to solve a problem instead of how to use a tool. Right? Kasi kahit anong tool na gagamitin mo, guys, in design, Figma ba yan, Adobe, ano ba yun? Illustrator, or Adobe InDesign, kahit anong gamitin mo na tool, Penpot, you can easily learn the tool, diba? But kahit anong gamitin mo, you can create an effective design if you understand concepts and principles. Diba? For example, when I teach music, I do not go directly to teaching yung i-perform ko agad sila ng chords. Diba? I do not go directly there. When I teach music, guys, I teach them how to read a chord first. Diba? Kasi if you know how to read a chord, madali mo na nang mag-gets kung saan siya naka-placement and ano yung placement ng kamay mo. Diba? So, me, personally, I didn't learn through that one, but with an experience in music, of course, for me, that is the most effective one na approach. That's why, yes, no, most people think it's very boring because it's not hands-on. But for someone really value learning, it's exciting for me, no, personally sa akin, right? Kasi it's a mathematician did not go directly to solving problems. They understand the problem first, diba? Before solving it. Say you don't solve something if you don't understand it. So yun. So as a designer, guys, you need to be a problem solver. Diba? You need to be able to think on your feet, quickly adapt and find effective solution. For example, let's say for example, sa ano natin, pakita ko sa inyo. So, sa website natin, guys, na Cave Guild, I've been given a font called Pyrolen, diba? Pyrolen. If you search Pyrolen, guys, loading yung ano din. Pyrolen, guys, is a font na walang family, no? Mag-isa lang siya. Meaning, ganito lang siya, Pyrolen. Wala siyang bold, wala siyang light, wala siyang ano. Ganito lang talaga siya. Also, wala siyang lowercase na letters. All caps, di ba? So, pero we effectively use it sa website natin na Cave Guild kasi we applied some principles. How? Right? What I did is if I use Pyrolen with other fonts, since big letter na siya, of course, ginawa ko ng big letter yung iba. Kasi if small letter ko to, di na siya maganda tingnan. Or hindi na siya practical tingnan. Of course, hindi na consistent tingnan. Right? So, yun. You can see here, I've focused on the second font natin. Dalawa lang ring font to, guys, which is Outfit. This one. All of it are Outfit. And then Pyrolen. Right? So, we have a problem na so, there is no regular, wala ring bold sa Pyrolen na ano. So what you do is that's where designers is able to think on their feet, di ba? Parang sa army lang. They're able to think on their feet. So for me, to add a little flavor, if my regular yung Pyrolen and my bold siya, what I will do is i-regular ko to, tapos i-bold ko tong we. But since wala siyang ganyan, what I did is gi-white ko to and then gi-yellow ko to. Diba? It's a simple thing. Diba? But again, sabi ko nga, if you see a thing na madali gawin, for example, in design, right? For example, napagawa ka ng logo and then nakita mo na, uy, madali lang naman tong gawin ah. You need to think na you're not paying a logo designer for something na you think madali lang. Kasi if you think na madali lang, you can do it, no? You don't need a logo designer, di ba? But if you value something na mag-take time and then a skill na makakreate ng logo, of course, that's when you pay a logo designer. If a designer design a logo and then nakita mo yung logo and then makasabi ka na, uy, parang madali lang naman to gawin, madaling tingnan, di ba? Parang easy lang yung logo na ginawa mo, madaling tingnan. You as a client, you don't have an idea about the process. Although madali lang siyang tingnan kasi nakita mo na. But if you are the one to think about it, right? If you are the one to really come up with something, is where the hard part Diba? Kasi di ka naman magbabayad talaga kung alam mo na madali lang gawin sa iyo. Diba? So yun ang concept ng about sa design. So as a designer, you should be able to solve a problem. No, we are not only an aesthetic people, but also we are a problem solver. So yun. So there are some challenges you may encounter, but you can easily solve it through research and inquiries. As a katulad ng developers, if they encounter problem, they go to Stack Overflow. Pero ngayon may AI na, so you can also utilize that one, no? Don't tawag niyan, if you know something, contribute back to the community, no? Don't gatekeep, right, an information. Para sila rin, they give also insightful values, diba? Parang yung golden rule lang, don't do to others what you want to do to you, diba? If you want them to help you, of course, give back to the community. So as a designer, we not only not focus on aesthetics and practicality, we also focus on problem solving. So yun, that is our, diba? If you can see, mas complex yung mga previous session natin, diba? Kasi we mentioned line height, we mentioned anything, but ngayon mas madali na. Why? Kasi we summarize all of it into a single into much more understandable na concepts, diba? Kasi we don't need to really take time. For example, you have a design project, you don't really need to take 1 day just to select fonts, just to select color, especially on a startup, no? You're only gonna take 1 hour, you select colors, 1 hour, 1 hour, you 30 minutes, you select fonts, right? So yun, sabi ni Sai, if someone did a job for 30 minutes, it's because that someone spent years learning how to do tasks in 30 minutes. Yes, no? Sabi ko nga, you are not paying for something that is simple, you are paying for their skill, no? To do something that you think is simple but more of complex. And then we, sabi nga di Don Norman, the simple a system is, the more complex it is behind the scene, no? So yun, that's what you need to remember as a designer. So be transparent sa client nyo or sa manager nyo. If you need something, for example, a design brief, ano ilalagay dito, ano kailangan, may mga assets ba kayo na kailangan kong pwede kong magamit, may mga design elements ba kayo na gusto nyong gamitin ko, don't hesitate sa client, no? Right? Kasi clients or managers nyo will appreciate it that you ask, kasi they know na you are being attentive, no, and you really care how the website would look, the output of the website, no, how the output of the website would look. So be transparent as a designer. Mas madali yung trabaho mo, and then mas ma-appreciate din ng client or manager. So secondly is, every decision you make, not only in typography, guys, but in also other things, you should be able to know why you chose this decision. You should be able to back something na UX principle or guidelines to justify your decisions, right? For example, we have a forms. Let's say we have a forms. Imagine nyo lang, so screen, and then we have a button. You put the button here, let's say, dito sa left, but not on the right. So form tapos button on the left side sa form. You use wait lang, guys. So basically you use Fitts law, right? That's why you didn't put it here, kasi based on Fitts law, it's much users will more likely to click here na mas malapit kaysa sa malayo. So yun, parang ganun. But not all of every decisions, most important decisions lang. So yun, kasi decisions in design talaga matter, diba? So yun. So remember, applying typography and choosing a typeface is just as important with any visual elements in your design. You should do it right, but don't spend too much time on it, no? Sabi nga ng isang experience na nakalimutan ko, if you are gonna design, don't spend too much time on design system, don't spend too much time on design guidelines. Just do it in 1 hour and then proceed to more important things. So yun. Thank you, guys. So that is everything, no, for tonight na mention natin. Hopefully you have learned something. Do you have questions? Okay. Meron questions I use 0. How do you conduct user research to identify the needs and behavior of your target users? So, if you need to identify the needs and behaviors of your target user, for example, me, no? Ako, sa startup namin, of course, we don't know the users. We don't have the time to gather users and then interview them about something, about this one. So, what you do is you brainstorm with the team, diba? After that one, you need to clarify ano yung purpose ng project nyo. For example, you have a project for fitness, let's say fitness. You need to identify ano yung goal talaga ng founder nyo or ng manager nyo on this project, right? You start on that. After that, you research similar projects and take the data from them and use it on your designs, right? That's why on us, we do not spend too much time on interviewing research. We do research by taking advantage of the data of already pre-built na mga system. Kasi most of the time, yung project mo, there are similar system na talaga niyan. Right? Not exactly similar, but most likely na similar in terms of concept, no? But different in approach, right? You can take that one. So, but if you have a budget and also you have a time, right, in a team, of course, you can interview users. Kasi most companies talaga na big companies, they do what we call design sprints, right? They design an idea in just 1 week, and then on that similar week, they interview users about that design, no? And then if they confirm na maraming users, it's practicality from users, they continue to build it on the system. But if they find out na hindi, of course, they will not continue on it. Diba? It saves both time and resources sa part ng company and also part ng mga developers and designers. Yun. So that's how we conduct user research. No? Take advantage of what is already there. Diba? So, yun. Sige, ano pa guys? May mga questions pa ba kayo? Do you have any other question? Sabi ni IceUser, how do you approach structuring information on a website or application to ensure it is intuitive for users? So, in structuring information, guys, is actually a different field now, but it's still in UX. It's still in UX. It's called information architecture, diba? You can research it on information architecture. Of course, we can discuss it on mga later na mga session natin. But in summary, information architecture is how users are able to quickly find the page that they need to find. Diba? For example, you have a website and then they find some guide on how to use your website. Diba? How they can quickly find that from the landing page. That's why if you see most of the website guys na they have what we call sitemap. Diba? If you scroll sa pinakababa ng mga websites, they have what we call sitemap. For example, I will show you an example. For example, sitemap. So, sitemap guys is mostly nilalagay sa footer. Now, it's basically all the pages they have in a website. Right? Kung nahirapan ka hanapin yung isang page ng website, you can go to the footer and then makita mo doon naka-organize na yung lahat ng pages ng website. Right? So that is information architecture, diba? We will not be delving deeper on that kasi soon na yan, we will be discussing that about that one. So yun. Sabi ni Jeff, in designing graphic or UX, bakit hindi masyadong nagagamit ang fonts like Arial or others? You can use Arial naman. Actually, I've seen many websites na gumagamit ng Arial and Microsoft ng mga fonts. But the problem is, it's too generic, diba? Kasi designers is both picky but also follow a convention, no? If they think na so many people already use this one, so many it's very natural na sa mata and it's very basic na sa mata, of course, they're not gonna use it, no? Kasi there are so many choices out there. Why would you use something na very generic na tingnan, di ba? So that's why most designers and UX do not use really Arial, but you can use it, no problem about that one. There is no such thing as bawal na, as long as you can use it. I mean, as long as you can effectively use it. So, sabi ni Nobita, you have your own branding guidelines, but the clients has theirs as well. Design is very subjective. Would you choose the client's design, or would you insist on your own and educate the clients about what is right for them? Now, actually, that's a good question. No? There are cases na you have an idea, and then it contradicts with the idea, and then your clients are also have an idea. So which one would you follow? Guys, you are being paid, no? You have a client. So, of course, you will prefer the client's one. But, you need to suggest. Pero not completely na, wag na lang yan, like tanggalin mo lahat ng suggestion ng clients just to push your own. No. As a designer, you need to solve problems, no? One problem is, how can I use this design guidelines by the client on my design, no, without entirely removing it? So that is your job as a designer, to solve it, no? Yes, design is subjective, but the standard is not. It's objective. Meron tayong standard sa design. That's why there are designer's eye, right? If you haven't heard of that one, they can identify if designers will be practical, design is practical or not, no? So yun, prefer your client's preferences, right? But as a designer, of course, if you know something is not right, suggest it, show them how and why it benefits them, and then implement that one. No, don't push your own if you know clients. If you know clients have something na prefer nila, diba? So yun, you only need to suggest, and you only need to solve, right? Yun. So sabi na ICU0, what tools do you prefer for wireframing and prototyping, and why? Actually, there are many tools, wireframing and prototyping. I'm a bias, no? Actually, bias ako sa mga tool. I only use Figma for everything, actually. Marami naman talaga. You can, actually guys, there are so many tools sa wireframing and prototyping na very beneficial for you. But for me, kung saan ako mas effective, of course, saan ako mas efficient, doon yun yung gagamitin ko. I will not use a new tool in between design projects, right? Doon ko pa i-learn yung tool habang kalagitnaan ng ano. Of course, if you need to learn a tool, doon lang sa wala kang ginagawa ng mga projects na important, right? So I only prefer Figma for wireframing and prototyping. But again, I will not be debating about the tools. You can use anything you are comfortable with. So, and lastly, sabi ni IU0, how do you design user flows to ensure smooth and logical progression through your application? So there's what we call a design user journey. No? Have you guys familiar with user journey? It's like basically telling a story how users from visiting your website to achieving their goals. No, you lay out this one. For example, visit the website, and then main goals, guys. MVP nila, minimum viable product. They visit the website. They click the button, blah 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 blah, until they reach their final destination. Let's say check out the item, or pay for the item, or receive the item. Diba? You lay out that design. I mean user flow or user journey. That is called user flow or user journey. It's actually happened, guys. Design is not a linear process. It's iterative one. But most of the time, creating design user flows happens at the beginning. That's why I always said to designers, now you should understand what your projects are. Why? Because if you don't understand it, you won't know what the user's gonna do. Diba? It's difficult to identify ano yung gagawin ng users. That's why as a designer, guys, we allow users na maging tamad. But we as a designer, we do not allow ourselves na maging tamad. Diba? Kasi aesthetic usability effect, we take their first impression through the UI, and we remain their retention or first impression through the UX. That's why, so yun. as a designer, you need to solve problems din. That's one of our problem. So, yun. Well, grabe, dami nyo namang questions. Meron pa ba, guys? Hopefully, na-answer ko lahat, If may reklamo kayo, of course, send nyo lang. May mga questions pa ba kayo? Ang dami pala natin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hello sa lahat ng mga sumali. Ay, oo nga pala. Don't forget to send your attendance, guys. Sa attendance, unahan ko na lang. Sorry. Malabas yung pagkabisaya natin. Sorry, guys. So, type. Okay, typography. Part 3. In call attendance. Typography part 3. So yun. So this is the final, guys, no? This is gonna be our final lesson about typography. Of course, we will go back sa mga lesson naman about typography if mag-design na talaga tayo ng actual website. But this is the last. Yung colors natin before 3, di ba yun? 3 na session. And then ngayon 3 na naman. So after this, guys, at least alam nyo kung anong susunod is layout and spacing. We'll be discussing about layout and spacing after the typography na topic natin. So, yun lang. Do you have any other questions, guys? May questions pa ba kayo in mind? Let's sige, let's accept two more question. How do you integrate content strategy in your design process? Okay, so sa mga hindi nakakalam, content strategy, guys, is more on a copywriting side, no? How do you structure your content, right? Or structure your sentences or titles on your website that it's much more effective to users. So that's content strategy. Now, for me, I weigh in, no, my priorities. Kasi most sa mga project na gina-workout ko is more, wala pang information at the beginning, right? So for me, I structure first the website. Like ano yung section na i-add ko, ano yung saan ko i-add yung sections, ano yung arrangement ng buttons, ano yung arrangement ng image, yun. And then I use just placeholder, di ba? Kasi when unahin ko yung content strategy and then wala pa akong structure ng website, it's not useful, di ba? So inuuna ko yung structure ng website before content strategy. After you lay out everything, yung structure ng website, that's where content strategy comes in, di ba? Sa design process mo. So depende sa requirements mo, depende ng ng process mo sa design. Pero for me, content strategy is on the end of the design, diba? Kasi it's all about really content, guys. Planning, creation, publication, management, governance, content, yun. Right? It's you attract the users through content. There are so many tutorials about that one, but it's called content strategy. No, it's more of a high-level plan. That's why I do not yung parang tap into it early on the design process, kasi it's not that important if unahin ko the thing na kailangan kong gawin is the structure of a website, diba? So, okay. Last question natin is, meron kayong mga suggest na website? Actually, sobrang tingnan mo. Sobrang rami, no? Ask nyo lang ako. I have so many design resources here, guys. I'm not gatekeeping, no? I'm just waiting for someone na mag-ask. Kasi di ko rin alangan. I can send it naman. So, you can try landing folio. You can try CISO. CISO.website. You can try... I already discussed it, guys. You can use Dribble and Behance, but for me, I do not use those. Why? Kasi di ko ma-visit yung actual website, only designs. I can't expect the elements na nandun. So what I use na mga is yung I have the ability to visit the actual website. Meaning, I have two things na insurance, right? I can ensure na this design method is possible kasi nagawa ng iba, di ba? Kaysa sa Dribbble ka lang, di mo alam if possible ba to kasi design lang yung nakikita mo sa Dribbble or Behance. Secondly is I can inspect each element precisely. Anong size nito, bakit parang malaki to tingnan, tapos pag i-implement na maliit, mga ganyan. So I do not use Dribbble and Behance. I already discussed that one. I use different sites like Landingfolio, CISO.website, those things. Pwede pa drop na lang po dito mga links nila. Sure. Drop ko lahat ng ginagamit ko na website inspo sa inyo after this call. So yun. So if you don't have thank you guys no sa sa time nyo. Wala na naman sigurong question. That's also a question. Kabi na rin. So that's it for tonight guys. Hopefully you have learned something. May mga addition pa ba, Sir Dave or Karen? Always check sa mga announcement natin guys kasi we have so many events upcoming talaga. Cave Guild yung organizer no. So if most of them siguro is on site or face to face, person to person. But baka makagawa kami ng mga online na events din. June 8 pala guys, Tech Night natin. 'Di ba? Abang-abang lang kayo sa mga announcement natin. Of course, if you have Facebook, you can follow our mga social media natin kasi gina-announce namin lahat doon. So doon. So yun lang guys no. Thank you so much. As usual, I will answer na lang yung question kasi mukhang after na lang sa call. So thank you so much sa inyo and then hopefully you've learned something and good night sa lahat. Thank you guys. Bye-bye. Thank you. Ang babait ninyo. Thank you.